What if the key to earning more respect from your family wasn't about arguing or demanding attention, but instead using proven psychological techniques? In this video, we're revealing 5 powerful strategies that help older adults regain respect and rebuild meaningful connections with children and grandchildren. Stay with me until the end, because the last technique has been shown to transform even the most strained family relationships. Now let's get started. Number 1, establish clear boundaries with confidence. One of the most common reasons seniors lose respect is the gradual erosion of personal boundaries. As roles shift and adult children begin making more decisions, well-meaning family members often overstep, diminishing your authority and independence. Establishing clear boundaries isn't about creating conflict. It's about defining the areas where you maintain decision-making authority. Research shows that people with healthy boundaries enjoy stronger, more respectful relationships because others understand their limits and expectations. Consider William, a 73-year-old widower whose adult children had gradually begun making decisions about his schedule, home, and even meals without consulting him. After learning about boundary setting, William called a family meeting where he calmly expressed appreciation for their care, while clearly outlining decisions he would continue making himself. "I know you're trying to help," he told them, "but I need to make my own choices about my daily schedule and how I spend my money. I welcome your input, but the final decisions in these areas need to remain mine." By focusing on specific issues rather than general complaints, William established a framework his children could respect. Within weeks, they began consulting him more and assuming less. The effectiveness of boundaries depends on consistency. Once established, maintain them calmly but firmly. When family members cross these lines, gently redirect them with phrases like, "I appreciate your suggestion, but as we discussed, this is a decision I'll be making for myself." Number 2, develop expertise that earns automatic respect. In today's information-focused world, knowledge and skills command natural respect, regardless of age. One of the most effective ways for seniors to regain standing is to develop distinctive expertise that family members genuinely value. This doesn't mean becoming a technology expert or learning complex subjects. Instead, identify areas where your experience, wisdom, or interests could provide unique value. Whether it's family history, cooking traditional recipes, gardening knowledge, or financial wisdom, becoming the family's go-to resource naturally reinforces your valuable role. Take Margaret, a 76-year-old grandmother who felt increasingly sidelined at family gatherings. Rather than complaining, she decided to document their family history, collecting old photographs, researching ancestry, and recording stories from her childhood and relatives no longer living. As she began sharing these carefully preserved memories, her family's attitude shifted noticeably. Grandchildren who had previously shown little interest now sought her out with questions. Her adult children began introducing her as "our family historian," with evident pride. By developing unique expertise that no one else possessed, Margaret created a new identity that commanded natural respect. Choose an area you genuinely care about, rather than forcing yourself into a role. Develop your knowledge systematically and share your expertise naturally when relevant. As family members recognize your authority in this area, they'll become more receptive to your perspectives on other matters as well. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now let's move forward. Number 3, master the art of interested listening. It might seem counterintuitive, but one of the most powerful ways to gain respect is not by demanding to be heard, but by becoming an exceptional listener. In a world where genuine, attentive listening has become rare, the ability to truly focus on others creates a profound impact that naturally elevates your status. The psychology is well established. Humans deeply value being heard and understood. When you demonstrate that you can set aside your own stories to genuinely engage with family members' perspectives, especially across generational divides, you create a foundation of mutual respect. For seniors, this involves maintaining eye contact, asking thoughtful follow-up questions, avoiding interruptions, and showing authentic curiosity about topics that matter to your family members, even when they differ from your interests. Consider Robert, an 81-year-old who felt his family was constantly dismissive of his input. After learning about the power of interested listening, he made a conscious decision to spend an entire family dinner focused entirely on asking questions and listening intently to the answers. He asked his teenage grandchildren about their interests, showing genuine curiosity about music and games he didn't understand. He inquired about the challenges his adult children faced at work, listening without immediately offering solutions. The change was immediate and striking. By the end of the evening, family members were actively drawing him into the conversation and asking for his perspective. For seniors implementing this approach, consistency is essential. The real transformation happens when family members recognize this as your genuine approach to communication. The respect that emerges is based not on obligation, but on the authentic connection that attentive listening creates. Number 4, embrace strategic adaptability while honoring your values. One of the most common sources of tension between generations is resistance to change. When seniors firmly reject new ideas, technologies, or evolving social norms, it often leads to a perception of rigidity that undermines respect. Yet completely abandoning your values isn't the answer either. The key lies in strategic adaptability, demonstrating willingness to consider new approaches while maintaining your core principles. This balanced approach signals both wisdom and continued growth, a combination that naturally commands respect. It allows you to participate meaningfully in contemporary family life, while still providing the grounding influence that is one of the most valuable roles older adults can play. Take Eleanor, a 79-year-old grandmother with traditional values, who found herself increasingly at odds with her adult children's parenting approaches. After reflection, she realized she needed to distinguish between fundamental values and simple preferences. She began demonstrating openness to new experiences, trying the vegetarian meals her daughter prepared, learning to use video calling, and asking curious rather than judgmental questions about approaches different from her own. At the same time, she calmly maintained boundaries around her deepest values, explaining her perspectives thoughtfully rather than critically. The transformation was gradual but unmistakable. Within months, her family began actively including her in decisions again, valuing her as someone who brought wisdom without inflexibility. Her willingness to adapt in some areas made her family more receptive to her guidance in others. The key is discernment, distinguishing between core values worth maintaining and preferences that can flex with changing times. When you hold firm on important matters, explain your reasoning calmly rather than simply invoking tradition or authority. Number 5, contribute meaningfully without keeping score. Perhaps the most powerful way to regain respect is to consistently contribute value without obvious expectations of return. This generosity of spirit, whether through practical help, emotional support, or creating positive experiences, establishes you as an invaluable presence whose worth is self-evident rather than demanded. The psychological principle at work is reciprocity, one of the most powerful forces in human relationships. When you freely contribute without keeping score, it naturally creates both gratitude and a desire to reciprocate that respect and care. Consider James, a 75-year-old who felt increasingly overlooked by his busy adult children. Rather than complaining, he identified specific ways he could make their lives easier. For his daughter, a working mother of 3, he offered to handle weekly grocery shopping. For his son, struggling with home repairs, he created a schedule where they could work together on projects, sharing his handyman knowledge. James provided this help consistently and without obvious expectations. Within months, he noticed his children calling more frequently, not out of obligation, but genuine desire for connection. They began consulting him on important decisions and including him more centrally in family gatherings. The key is identifying contributions that genuinely meet family members' needs, rather than imposing help they don't want. The specific contribution matters less than the spirit in which it's offered. Freely, consistently, and without attached expectations. We've explored 5 powerful strategies that can help seniors regain respect, establishing clear boundaries, developing valued expertise, practicing interested listening, balancing adaptability with core values, and contributing without keeping score. These approaches work because they address the root causes of diminished respect rather than treating only symptoms. The common thread is that they focus on earning rather than demanding respect. When you establish yourself as someone who offers clear value, respects others' autonomy, and contributes positively to family dynamics, the respect you receive becomes genuine rather than obligatory. Remember that rebuilding respect takes time, especially if patterns of disregard have developed over years. Focus on consistency rather than perfect implementation. Thank you for joining us today. Leave a comment below and share which of these strategies resonates most with your situation. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.